Stand still in the heart of Berlin today and you'll hear Turkish, Arabic, English, Polish, and of course, German. Trains glide past glass towers. Startups operate inside buildings that once stood in the shadow of a wall that divided the world. Street musicians play beneath visible layers of history. With more than 84 million inhabitants, Germany is the largest economy in Europe and one of the most influential nations on the planet. But go back 2,000 years, and this was not a country. It was forest, swamp, scattered tribes living beyond the borders of the Roman world. There was no Germany, no Berlin, no single identity uniting these lands. So how did this fragmented region become the modern nation that today stands at the center of Europe? This is a story that begins with tribes and imperial ambition, passes through centuries of fragmentation and attempts at unity, endures devastating wars, deep divisions, and arrives at an impressive rebirth. Let's go back to the very beginning. In the year 9 AD, Roman legions marched confidently through the dense Teutoburg forest. They expected yet another swift conquest. Instead, they walked into disaster. A Germanic leader named Arminius, trained by the Roman Empire itself, united rival tribes and set up an ambush. 3 entire legions were destroyed. It was one of the most humiliating defeats in Rome's history. Rome never fully conquered these lands. While much of Europe absorbed Roman laws, culture, and language, the Germanic territories remained independent, divided among Saxons, Franks, Alemanni, and Goths. There was no central ruler, no unified state, but over the centuries, common linguistic roots, traditions, and myths began to form a shared cultural foundation. When the Western Roman Empire collapsed, the Germanic peoples did not disappear, they expanded. In the year 800, Charlemagne was crowned emperor, ruling over vast territories of Europe. For a brief moment, something close to unity emerged from the Germanic world, but it was fragile and did not last. In 962, a new political structure arose, the Holy Roman Empire. It was not a centralized empire, but a complex network of duchies, principalities, bishoprics, and free cities. Power was decentralized and constantly negotiated. Even so, trade flourished. Cathedrals rose above growing cities. Trade routes connected the Baltic Sea to northern Italy. Then, in 1517, a monk named Martin Luther challenged the authority of the Catholic Church. The Protestant Reformation broke the religious unity of the region and plunged the Germanic territories into prolonged conflicts. The 30 Years' War devastated the region. Cities were destroyed. Entire populations disappeared. Once again, these lands became a battlefield, and even so, from destruction came transformation. The idea of sovereign states gained strength, even though national unity was still far off. Definitive unification would only come in the 19th century. Prussia emerged as the main Germanic power, disciplined, industrial, and strategically led. Under the leadership of Otto von Bismarck, a series of calculated wars redrew the European map. In 1871, inside the Palace of Versailles, the German Empire was proclaimed. For the first time, Germany was unified as a modern nation-state. Industry grew rapidly, steel and coal production soared, and universities led scientific and technological advances. Germany became one of the most advanced industrial powers in the world, but rapid growth brought rivalries. In 1914, Europe plunged into the First World War. Germany's defeat in 1918 led to the fall of the Kaiser and the end of the monarchy. The Weimar Republic was born, ambitious but unstable. Hyperinflation destroyed family savings, political violence took over the streets, and the Great Depression deepened the despair. In 1933, Adolf Hitler came to power. Democracy ended, Germany rearmed itself and expanded aggressively. In 1939, it invaded Poland, starting the Second World War. At first there were quick victories, then the tide turned. The invasion of the Soviet Union drained resources. Allied bombings turned cities into ruins. In 1945, Berlin was devastated. Millions had died. The Holocaust revealed horrors that would forever mark the history of humanity. Germany was physically destroyed and morally shaken. After the war, the country was not rebuilt as one. It was divided. West Germany aligned itself with the capitalist bloc and experienced rapid economic growth, known as the economic miracle. East Germany came under Soviet influence with a controlled economy and strict state surveillance. In 1961, the Berlin Wall was erected overnight, separating families and symbolizing the ideological division of the world. For almost 3 decades, that wall represented the physical border of the Cold War until 1989. Peaceful protests grew, the pressure increased, the borders were opened, people climbed onto the wall, embraced strangers, and began to tear it down with their own hands. In 1990, Germany was reunified. Today, Germany is once again at the center of Europe. Berlin is a creative and political hub. Munich is a benchmark in engineering. Hamburg connects the country to global trade. Germany leads in automotive innovation, renewable energy, industrial technology, and environmental policy. It plays a central role in the European Union and in international diplomacy. But what truly defines Germany is not just efficiency or industry, it's resilience. Time and again, the country has faced collapse and found the strength to rebuild, has experienced fragmentation and fought for unity. It faced the darkest chapters of its history and chose democracy, from tribal forests to imperial power, from dictatorship to democratic stability, from division to reunification. Complex, reflective, forward-looking. That is what makes Germany, Germany.